Good morning. This is Grateful Ed. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. It is a great day to be alive and be able to make this video. It's one of those things, that you're called upon to do. I feel like I have to do, and speaking about my experiences. So I'm sending out my hello to everybody, and I'm sending my love to all. It's a great time to be alive, and a great time to stand together as Americans and move our country forward. Hold these people accountable who have been holding us back in this trap, in this maze for so long. So I just want to continue on. I want to talk about my experiences on the gang stalking, but I want to talk about the fake marriages first. And this is a long story, but the first time I was going to go on leave in the Philippines, my boss asked me to, my boss Sue, she's a great woman, great boss. She asked me to pick up, it's like a little chest, twisted rattan chest with smoked glass mirror. And I liked it too, and I got one for myself, and I think macrame hanging with smoked glass. But I got to the Philippines, and I went shopping out at Friendship Gate. For those of you who know, the old Friendship Gate is where most of the officers were. Officer housing was out there. There was some enlisted, but there was a lot of good stores down there and restaurants and stuff. So anyway, I went in there and I found some, and so I put in the order and then came back, got them boxed up, and I don't know how, got a taxi up to the post office, and they were within the weight limit, so I mailed them, back up to Kadena. And everything went well. The thing about Kadena is we were very blessed, very lucky, because at the time, and this was, for me it was uncommon, but I didn't know any better, that as an airman basic I had my own room, and that's, I know things are a lot different now, but back then that was a definite perk because you had your privacy, right? So anyway, this stuff fit in my little room at Kadena. All right, so save that note because that's important later on. So Sue, I don't know if she PCS'd or whatever. She left. I got a new boss. And it wasn't long, before I PCS'd, and I had the assignment, continued overseas tour from Kadena to Clark. So at the store where I bought the furniture, I met a young lady named Tess, and she was very nice, We hit it off just as friendship, So when I was stationed there, and these were the very early days, I want to say, within the first 30 or 60 days, either way, it's good to get people once they get in, for a station somewhere, I suppose. But anyway, what happened was I would get off work and then catch the old CBL, the California bus line, out to the gate. Because at Clark it was much different because we had a roommate, and there was not privacy, and there was not a lot of room, to be quite honest. So, you know, you didn't want to hang around there and whatever. I didn't anyway. So, you know, I would catch a CBL and I would get off at the first stop, which was, of course, Friendship Gate. So, anyway, I would go in and see Tess, and, you know, we would visit, we would talk. We never did have a date or anything, you know. The only thing I remember is going to the Chili Pot, which was a nice little restaurant there on Friendship, you know. And it was more platonic, it was more friendship friendly than anything else. Okay. So, one of Tessa's co-workers or friends or wherever she popped up from, I don't remember. I can't make this shit up either. Her name was Faye, all right? And Faye had plans, okay? She had plans for herself and her future, and she had plans for herself and my future, not knowing it. But you know, one night she would lay it on the table, okay? She's like, you know what? You'd like to come down here a lot. I've got an idea. Why don't we get married? Okay. And I'm like, that's interesting. You know, that's real interesting. What brings this up? Okay. Well, she wanted to be with her family. Okay, and she knew I liked to go downtown. Plus, I was a young airman, 2 stripes, I believe, you know. And, you know, to be quite honest, they knew what was going on. After I visited them at Friendship, I would catch a jeepney and then, you know, go down to the bars. It's no secret, you know. I'm not the only one. And it's just one of those things. So she's like, well, here's the deal, you know. If we get married, I'm going to go my own way. You're going to have your BAQ and BAS. So you can live down here and, you know, that solves all our problems, right? And I'm like, okay, well, you know, do I get any benefits from this marriage? And the answer was, oh no, that's not part of the deal, you know. It was strictly money, and, you know, her plan to get her visa or green card, visa, whatever she's going to do, who knows, you know. There are other stories about how this all manifests, and none of them turn out well, from my experience. Anyway, excuse me. So, you know, I'm going to be quite honest. I thought about it, okay? I thought about it for a minute. But it was only for a minute. And, you know, I said, nah, Faye, your scams are, it's not I don't want to get into that, you know. I didn't get off on the right foot when I got to Clark anyway. That's no other story. But, you know, it's a little bit too risky for me. And I'd rather, you know, stay with my program with the Air Force and not get into that stuff. And this is going long, but it's a pretty good story. I've got a couple other examples where one of them was straight up contract marriage, and you know, my dear friend Junior, he got caught up in that shit. You know, they put him on international hold, and they really ran him through the ringer. And nobody knows really how it all got resolved, but it was ugly, to be quite honest. So, you know, I passed up Faye's scam deal, okay, and went on about my business. Well, you know, the original furniture thing, I ended up working for Al Barber. Great guy, great boss. He put a lot of trust in me. You know, I told the story before about the scams with London Lumber. About, you know, they busted up the contracting office down in Manila, and, you know, they busted up an airman for signing documents for shipments of lumber that were never delivered straight to CE. Sometimes you could do that, you know, but basically you're just signing on something you didn't visually inspect. The inspectors didn't double check, and They busted it up with the OSI. So anyway, Big Al, you know, God rest his soul, he was very good to me. And he busted up Mr. France too, but busted up his gig down there. But what happened was, and I don't know how it all manifested. Maybe because I kept I couldn't get my stuff delivered because I didn't have enough room in the dorm. Okay, these pieces of furniture were unique because I brought them in to Clark, you know, instead of buying them. Well, I bought them in the Philippines, but I brought them in my household goods. Okay, so you know, he was a senior NCO, so he knew about some of the ins and outs and what to do. So what happened was, because I had my guitar and amp, and then I had stereo systems were real large from Kadena, and the furniture. So I had more weight, and because these were furniture items, they classified me for consideration for the single rate BAQ for your quarters and BAS for your food that Faye was mentioning. Okay, but instead of going for Faye scams, right, what Big Al did for me, I was in local purchase, I was a two-striper, I was alone, and he really put a lot of trust in me. What he did was he wrote justification for me to get my single rate quarters and subsistence allowance, and it went through. So you know, I moved off base, you know, right away. I'm not going to mess around. That's what everybody wanted to do anyway. And but the original furniture and the ability to say no to these fake marriage offers, it paid off in the long run. And I never did put those things together until yesterday, okay, when I was thinking about these things. And there's something manifesting that I'm thinking about with the false documentations on, how can I say it, a few months ago, where I got some documentation from an insurance company there in town, and something just wasn't right, you know. There was a big mistake on my part, because I signed off on electronic signature or something. So I made a memo for record and went on. But I do want to tell this story in case something like that has been brewing and manifesting along the lines of the other phase. So we'll see, because I believe it's all going to come out. And this is a long-winded day, but I wanted to tell that story. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but it's real important for me, you know, to speak about my experiences on the gang stalking, and you know, how they will know everything about you one way or the other, you know, from just gossip, malicious gossip, defamation of character, electronic surveillance, your records. I already told about the captain that were using the records against people, you know, and that's premeditated bullshit. If you feel like these things are happening to you, I hope you can, you know, find the courage and find the willpower to stand up against it. Do not let them take your character. Do not let them take your integrity, okay? Because they will stop at nothing. And until you stand up and let them know, hey, you're not going to get away with this shit collectively, and, you know, we put an end to it, that's what it's going to take. So, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great day. God bless you. God bless America. Keep on keeping on.